Everyone, we're getting ready to start popping our strings to make sure we come in square. That's what these little posts are here. I'll put a board here, and then a board across here, and then we'll shoot our string this way. Okay? And we want to make sure we get square because these holes are about 10 inches by 10 inches, and our boards are 6 by 6 posts here that we're going to put into the ground are 6 by 6. And I'm just getting the outline now for these, and you don't have to be real straight with these things. They can be zigzaggy, however you need them to be. But the main thing is to make sure that you get them when you put your board across this way, like this, that you got move, and then you can move your string if you need to move it an inch or two this way and get it set. You want to get all your strings in, then you want to shoot from this corner diagonally to this corner, and then diagonally from that corner back down to this corner, and make sure those measure so that way you're in square. And it's very important you take your time with this and you get it square, because if you don't get it square, when you start put up your rafters, your joists and all that stuff up on the roof, you're going to be out and it's just not going to look good. You're going to have to do odd cuts and just going to look poor. So spend time here and make sure you get that square as you can get it, okay? And the thing is, once they're square, you want to make sure they stay square, because whenever you put it in there, start putting that concrete in there, it's going to be freaking heavy. All right? These posts are heavy to get in, so you got to get them in. Take your time, get them in, set them in. And once you get them in, and you take your time with them getting square, I can't emphasize that enough to take your time with it. That it'll pay off in the long run, okay? Because once they're in and concreted, that's it. They're done. A lot of work to get them out and move them. If you're a half inch out, and a half inch can be quite a bit over 10, 12 foot. But if you're about a 1/16 out, that's not a big deal. You know, that's not even going to be discernible. If this was a 40-foot structure that was going from here way on down that way, then an inch out, you could be okay, 40, 60 feet. But you want to try to have a tolerance of about 1/8 of an inch all the time. I always try to with 0 to 16, no more than that on anything. And of course, if you're on something a foot or 2 foot, then you want to be 0 as you can be. You want to be perfectly square, okay? So always take your time and make sure that things are square. It'll pay off for you whenever you get further into your project, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pop strings. I'll show you what it's like once we get the final strings and everything popped. I ran out of little 2x2s on this hole here, so I'm going to have to use some 2x4s to cut my spikes or my stakes for here, so I can set up my little corner grid pattern for shooting a line this way and a line this way, okay? So then when I put that post in there, I'll make sure that line is perfectly straight here going across, and then the post perfectly here. So you got to be real delicate when you're setting it. When you got a big old boy like this, it's about 200 some pounds. It may not be 200, but it's in the heavy range. And you happen to move it just like one little 1-inch tolerances. A lot of little tricks you can do is you can take like that 20-pound sledgehammer I got there and hit it right across that tile. Just swing right across and bump it like that. Way you have someone hold that straight for you, and it'll move it pretty good, okay? And nothing too, when you're at these 12-footers like this, you want to make sure you got at least 3 foot in the ground, all right? You can't use 2 foot like you do out here on something like this, because you put that 2 foot in the ground and then you put a roof on it, it won't be much to pull that thing out of the structure. And I've got that thing going in down about 3 foot, and I've got this rebar that I'm going to put into each one of these holes, and I'm going to take and drive them in through the concrete into the ground, okay? And I'm going to put some things across the bottom of these here that helps anchor too, all right? Because we're here in Birmingham, Alabama. We're right on the edge of the hurricane alley, and we get some tumultuous winds come through here really bad. So everything's got to be anchored down, so this thing don't end up in somebody else's yard for their enjoyment or destruction of their house. This thing's going to be really nice when we get it done. It's going to be really large, okay? So see you on the next video.